Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrating to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side, so once about all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now, crazy night as the Australian Treasurer, Dr. Jim Chalmers, had actually announced the budget for 2024 and 25 last night. So I'm committed to get you most updated information this morning. Obviously not the whole document, but more related to migration, as that's all the fans and subscriber wants. All right, I won't waste too much time. Let's jump into the document itself, and I'll explain a little bit of my thoughts and what has been or what will become in the upcoming future from July 1st. Now, I think I have aligned most of my predictions towards what the government is planning. Just a little bit of adjustments, but let's see how the actual document will actually say. So, all right, now I've opened it up, this budget paper number 1 with the year 2024-25. Now it's a 440 pages. I do not recommend you to actually read them all, but if you're really bored, perhaps. Now I'm gonna jump into the actual detail where the migration, it relates to migration for the purpose of this video, and the first one will be on page 23, at the bottom of page 23. Obviously it talks about the education starting now. We all have learned about what's happening in the international education realm, where there's a genuine student requirement coming in, leveling, and sending out warning letter, a lot of refusals, cutting a lot of the international student numbers. Now what they're playing for the new financial year, let's read, and I'll explain a bit as we go on. So the government is reforming Australian migration system to drive greater economy, prosperity, and restore integrity, blah blah blah, and the budget supports skills in demand. So obviously if you learn about skills in demand, that's the new employment sponsored visa. Now I predicted this I think last year, where the employment sponsored visa will be the key drive in the future, and they obviously will see the numbers later on, with 70% of the permanent migration program allocated to skill visa category. The government will also introduce a new national innovation visa. Now this is, well, they call it innovation and talent visa, but that's all gonna be so-called NIV, national innovation visa, coming out late 2024 to attract exceptional talent migrants, replace what? Global talent and the BIIP, business innovation investment visa. Now we have just gone through the genuine student requirement replacing the genuine temporary entrant, which they really actually not really make any changes, but just the name. Now would they actually do the same thing on the global talent and business innovation investment visa? Possibly. They just wanted to change another name and new scheme. Perhaps I think they will increase the investment amount and the category that can actually be invested in. But anyway, we'll see how that go. These actions complement the reform developed by the points test used by the certain skill visa. Now I'm not too sure how the global talent and the business innovation visa will actually complement it. I think what they're trying to say is, if you cannot fit into the point test system, well, here we go, there's a global talent. If you're good enough, or perhaps you have money, just throw in the money and we'll accept you as well. Okay, the action underway, part of migration strategy, are delivered better managed migration system. Government actually estimated to reduce the net overseas migration by 110,000 people. Now we're gonna see how that will go, because they approximately half that by 2024 and 25, and we see the dramatic changes in the student visa already. So let's jump to I think this is the page there I wanted to show you, where it actually says how they have the actual table shows the number is very tiny, but 2022 and 23 we actually get the net overseas migrant. That means the permanent resident and also including the temporary resident. That's including student visa, work visa, and all that. That's about 500,000 in 2020-23. 2023-24, we got about 395, and now next financial year, they're gonna drop down to 260,000, and the year after is gonna be 255,000. Now I'm not too sure how that will actually be achieved. I think they will achieve through cutting a lot of student visas for sure, because student visa counts the bulk of the temporary visa holders there, because they're also going to increase the numbers of working visas, as we will see later on. Now let's going into, now this is all not gonna related to what we discussed. It's about economy, so I'm gonna jump to the budget 2024-25 budget paper number 2. Again, I'm gonna search the BIIP program, where it actually have information there in regards to the allocated fundings. So let's read about this 2 paragraph here, and we'll have a bit more understanding of what's been twisted and adjusted. So okay, the government will implement a new national innovation visa, NIV, replacing the current global talent visa from late 2024. Now, replacing it doesn't mean there's no more global talent. There will be some other new name. I think we're still under global talent stream, but under the national innovation visa. So they always do that. Government always change name, but I think the nitty gritty and then the foundation is still similar. Just making it a new name. All right, to target exceptional talent migrant who will drive growth sector of national importance, the Business Innovation Investment Visa Program (BIIP) will cease. All right, this is the important part, with refund of visa application charge provided from September 2024 for those who wish to withdraw BIIP application, and they have allocated 1.4 million for that refund. Now, a lot of people, I read this, they will go panic. Why? Now, first of all, keyword here is this: wish. Now, that means you may wish or you may not wish. So they still giving you the chance and the opportunity to withdraw. Now, if you choose to withdraw, they will give you the money back. Now, why do they say that? Because traditionally, if you withdraw a visa application, sorry, there is no refund. So they're actually giving you a favor. If you withdraw, we give you money back. Now, obviously, a lot of people will go, why would I want to withdraw? I've been waiting for years. You're correct. So how many people will actually withdraw it? I don't know, but I think they will further incentivize for applicant who actually withdraw. By what? Well, my prediction is this. Get this. I think they will provide a better, the previous BIIP program probably only need to require to invest, I don't know, certain amount, which you got to be the 1AA or 1AA-B, depends on which program that you're in. They will certainly, because of the inflation of these 3 or 4 years, they will certainly bump the requirement of investment amount up. Now, whether that's going to be into VC or bond or business venture, whatever that is, but if you wanted to join into the new program, okay, they will probably prioritize. You probably can get visa. For example, I'm just giving you an example. You probably get a visa done within half year or 3 months. That will be the way they will incentivize and get the existing 1AA visa applicant to what? To withdraw, and we give you money back. But that means that they exchange the old deal, which is bad for the government because the old deal was really low amount. With a new deal, you probably want to invest a higher amount, but we give you a visa straight away. I think that is the intention of what this paper will actually demonstrate into the future. And the next one is also important. He said the government will reduce the work experience requirement for the TSS visa. Well, that's going to be the skills in demand visa from 2 years to 1 year for all applicants from November 23rd of 2024 onwards. Now that is very important because now you currently for a lot of the trade although trade program is not too good, you get a lot of student refusal. But for these people, you don't have enough work experience through 485 visa. Now if they drop down from 2 years down to 1 year, that means a lot of people, a lot of graduates will have opportunity to actually access to the work visa, provided you have found an employer who is willing to pay a salary above 70,000. Then you will get a visa. And 2 years later, after you get 482, well, the new skilled in demand visa, you can transition into permanent residency, which is a good thing as well. So it's not all the bad news here. Now, moving onwards, it's about the numbers game. Not too much that concern us, but it's basically telling us again the net migration, they're going to drop it down and continue to keep it in that rate. I'm not too sure how that ratio, that number 260 or 255,000 how that will actually keep the economy of Australia going, provided it has been growing for the past 2 decades, and they suddenly want to reduce it. I don't know how that will actually go, but I think they will just leave it to the next government. Well, if they can, if they don't get the next elections. But anyhow, now today, this morning, there's a lot more information coming in with the migration program planning level. You can Google this and find these. I'll take you to the detail here as well. So we all need to do is not to read all that crap, but going down to see the actual number. So I'm gonna pull that a little bit over. How can I make it bigger? All right, here we go. That's a bigger size font. You can actually see that now. So again, you can see the comparison. They have increased dramatically on the employment sponsor visa from this year onto next year. So that was 33,825 into a 44,000. So they have bumped it up almost about 8,000, 7 to 8,000. Not cutting from, and a lot of cuts from independence skill. A lot of people have been asking, well, are they going to be a further round for 189 visa? Looks like they won't be, because they're cutting a lot, and they remains the regional and the state nomination to be kept there, provided the new point test system will be in. I think that will be fruition for a lot of state nominations, and then they are cutting down the BIP and also cutting down the global talent, and the rest remains the same. So what are the major differences? We can have a look at this in here. Detail about employment sponsor category visa. Now again, they have talked about this. Now this is I predicted this last year, so I think that's welcome, because they also wanted to implement the new skills in demand, and also they're gonna implement the so-called specialist pathway. If you go back to my video or go back to the migration strategy planning, the specialist pathway is for people who is employed in Australia with the annual salary amount either it's gonna be 120 or 130,000 plus, and that's gonna replace a lot of global talent applicants. All right, a lot of global talent applicants, they are less than the fair work high income threshold, but they are still making good income. All right, they will jump into that realm there. Okay, so that's where they increase of that number there. I think it will be very good, provided you only need to have a 1 year work experiences in order to actually get into the employment sponsor visa category. Now, the state and the territory nomination is kept about the same, so that's the 190 visa and the 491, so that will be still good. Now a lot of people question about 491 will drop from 3 years down to 2. Don't think so, because they want to keep the regional going, and plus the new student visa where they're going to cap the quota for all the campuses. So having study in regional Australia will have much more opportunity in the coming future, provided currently there's still a lot of international students go to the city. Now skill independent has been dropped. I don't need to say too much, because they just dropped the numbers. All right, BIP program, very important. It dropped it from 1,900 to 1,000, but with a line to the migration strategy, they will not provide any more allocation, and that whilst a new talent innovation visa was considered. So that means the new national innovation visa will come out by the end of 2024. BIP program will be closed permanently from July. That's a couple months to go. And the new application for the BIP 1AA will no longer be able to lodge. Well, you cannot lodge anyway now because they haven't been inviting at all. The migration review conclude that the BIP is bad and doesn't make any money, blah blah blah. And the subclass 1AA BIP program applicant who have lodged will continue. Application that have been lodged, that will continue. So a lot of people were saying, all right, they were, because in this document here, they ask you to actually withdraw and get you a refund. But it says if you don't want a refund or withdraw, no problem. It will still be continued to be processed in line of government's priority. Now that means it can still be wait for another 3 years or I don't know 4 years or whatnot, because the priority actually set 1AA visa applicants to the lowest. So again, they probably will incentivize for you to jump into the new the national innovation visa, whereby probably I think they'll ask for investment more or activity to be demonstrate more. Migration program planning and the BIP policy guidance will be tightened to ensure business migrant coming to Australia through program have overall success. Well, that they have that already existed anyway. Those who hold 1AA visa and met relevant criteria to be granted of the AAA visa, that's permanent resident, will still be able to continue in the pathway after July 2. So they are not actually killing all the 1AA visa applicant. They are giving you the opportunity. Again, I want to say this. They are giving you the opportunity to withdraw and they can give you a refund back. And they offer you a new deal, which is more expensive. And that's the way that the government wants. So that is what's going to happen for the investment visa people. Reducing, yeah, we see that already. Okay, now global talent. Now they are also dropping another 1,000 down from GTI visa. This planning aligned to government broader reform and talent innovation accounts of last year's global talent program as they transition to new arrangement for the national innovation visa. So national innovation visa will have, well, I think it will have majorly couple streams. So one stream is global talent, the original one, okay, and the other stream will be the BIP program, but probably dissected into 3 different types or 2 different types, whatever that is. Through the new visa, government will provide a permanent visa pathway again. So they are not. This is important. They are not getting the global talent visa to simulate how Canada and UK is doing, because they're not giving you permanent residency straight away. They want you to be employed. So that stream is actually going to be in the skills in demand visa with the specialist pathway. But for the national innovation visa, global talent pathway or stream, okay, they will still provide permanent visa pathway, but they are only looking for the most exceptional talent migrants, okay. So the senior, middle managers or engineers or talents, they will probably go to the specialist pathway rather than jumping into the global talent pathway, such as high-performing entrepreneurial, major investor, global researchers, and the National Innovation Visa Grant 2024 and 25 will be counted within the global talent program, which is the 4,000 quota there. And continue on. Home Affairs will manage a transition to new national innovation visa to ensure applicant, including existing application with global talent visa, are supported application process. Existing global talent visa applicant will not be adversely affected by this transition and will be assessed against the eligibility criteria at the time of application. And the rest of family and all others, I believe will stay the same. Not much is going to be changed there. So that's it, very quick for you to actually review, and that's for the budget 2024-25. That regards to the special topic of migration. So exciting 2024-25. A lot of people is crying out loud. I'm not too sure, but although they are reducing the number, but seems to be the government is on the right track. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, should you have more question query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below. And I see you next video. Goodbye.